Well, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm really excited for our practice today. We're going to be focusing a lot on the mobility of our hips, and some of the things that we're going to do today are also going to help us to get into the back, to stretch, to strengthen the back, so that we can just leave our practice feeling really good within the hips, within the back, as we're just walking around and doing whatever is on the agenda today. So let's see. So we got about 1 more minute. All right, so go ahead and as you get yourself situated here, I know some of us are going to be practicing in the stations, some are practicing at home, some are tuning in right now live with me, and some are tuning in later. So wherever you are, you can practice without any props at all. But if you do have a yoga block or a yoga strap, grab these today. You might be using these in your practice. And if you don't have a strap, a couple things you can do is you can grab an extra long shirt, an extra long towel, or I've actually had students say that when they're practicing at home, if they don't have a strap, they use a bathrobe tie, which is perfect because it's as long as a strap. So you can use these things if you don't have a yoga strap. If you don't have a block, you can grab a pillow today, like a couch pillow. You can grab a folded up blanket or your yoga block, all right? So have these things handy. Again, if you don't have anything today, that is okay, all right? So let's go ahead today. We're going to start off in our seats. So you can simply just sit right here. You can sit up on your block. You can cross the ankles. But today I wanted to start a little bit different if it ends up being comfortable for you. You're going to take one heel right to the center of both sit bones, right in front of the sit bones. And then we're going to take the second heel and place it right in front of that first heel. This is going to allow you to kind of find a little bit of a different seated position. It's going to help you to open up your hips. Your knees may go down a little bit more, but if your knees and hips need support, you can always grab your hands or blocks or pillows and just kind of place them under the knees for support, okay? Otherwise, stay here. Allow the hips and knees to melt down. We're going to take the palms onto the knees, palms facing down, so you kind of have this feeling of being a little bit more grounded here. And then simply just close the eyes. And we're just going to dive right into our practice today. So as you close your eyes here, I want you just to start to become aware of the breath. Notice how your breath sounds, and notice how your breath feels. Just start to notice, is there any shortness within the breath, any constrictedness within the breath? And if there is, can you begin to elongate that part of your inhale or your exhale, whatever part of the breath might feel a little tight or constricted? And with every inhale, as you ground down through the sit bones, can you maybe grow a little bit taller up towards the sky, through the spine? And then on your exhale, can you try to keep that tallness in the body, but begin to soften from your head to your toes, letting go of any tightness. And then every inhale, get tall. See if you can find some spaciousness within. And then with every exhale, within that newly founded space, begin to soften into the body even further. You can take a moment here and stretch out your mouth. And it might sound really silly. You can even stick out your tongue. And then from there, relax the jaw, relax the tongue, letting them both become soft. That's a really good thing to practice anytime during the day if you're someone who clenches their jaw or their teeth during the day, or even at night, or even if you're like a teeth grinder. This is a good thing to do, to stretch out the mouth, stick out the tongue a few times during the day, just to kind of allow that jaw to relax. Keep listening to that breath. Inhale, growing tall. Exhale, softening into the body. And starting to dive inward a bit more, notice that with every inhale, as you're breathing in brand new air and brand new energy. And with every single exhale, as you begin to soften into the body, I want you to start to notice, what can you mentally let go of today? And it's going to be a process here. Every inhale, breathe in brand new air, new energy. And then every exhale, start to mentally let go of anything that feels busy or heavy or stressful. Let everything drift away to the sides with each exhale. And just keep that going. You're going to be here for a few more rounds of breath. What I want you to focus on here is that with each exhale, the more and more you're letting go, the more space you're starting to create within the mind, within the body. So start to witness the space that you're creating for yourself. And as you're practicing that process of letting go, I wanted to share this really beautiful quote with you guys, and it says, "Embrace the rhythm of each new season and find peace in the way that it moves us." I love this quote, especially for our practice today, because just like we have seasons in our lives, we have seasons within our yoga practice. There are times where we feel very energetic, like we want to practice every day and expand in our practice. And then there's days where we might be nursing an injury, or we might just be feeling very sluggish. So whatever season we are in, no matter what's going on in the body or the mind, this practice is always here for you through every single season. So today, as we move into each yoga pose, I want you to think of each pose as a new season. It's a new area to explore, a new pose to explore, a new moment to discover something new. Okay, so with that thought, on your inhale, let the eyes flutter open. We're going to take our arms, sweep them up and overhead. Gaze up as the palms touch. And then as you exhale, slowly melt the thumbs back to the heart. Now, whether you have one heel in front of the other or you're just crossing the ankles, I want you to reverse the cross or reverse the stack of those heels. So one heel to the center of the sit bones, the opposite heel in front of that first. Go ahead and take the palms back down to your knees. And then on your next inhale, reach the heart forward, pull the shoulders back. So you really feel like you're putting your heart on display here. And then as you exhale, take that right rib cage. We're going to press it out to the left. Exhale, round back through center. And then inhale, take the left rib cage out to the other side, and then pour the heart forward. So basically, you're just making these really nice, big, juicy circles through the torso, through the hips. And this is going to allow you to start to loosen up the edges of the body. So getting into the edges of the hips, the edges of the torso. You might eventually put your back, neck, and shoulders into it. So as you round through center, you kind of get stretchy through the shoulders. And if it doesn't feel good to circle wide today, make very small circles. You want to move in a way that just feels really good to you. Now, after that last circle, as you pass through center, pause. Keep reaching the heart forward, pulling the shoulders back, and then exhale. Start to reverse that circle into the opposite direction. So you're kind of just like stirring the pot here. We're getting a little bit stretchy here at the beginning of the practice. But notice that also we're taking things a little bit slower here at the beginning. We tuned into the breath, tuned into the body and the mind, and now we're just tuning into the muscles a little bit further as we begin to move. And we're going to start to prep the body for some bigger hip openers that are coming up later in our practice. Maybe one or two more circles here. Again, you just want to circle in a way that feels good to you. And as you pass back through center again, take an inhale, exhale, come back up through center fully. All right. So this time, I want you to just come all the way up to all fours. Find your tabletop. And then go ahead and take all 10 fingertips, spread them wide, but relax those thumbs. And then take the fingertips and just grip them into the mat. And so what you want to feel is that when you're gripping the fingertips into the mat, that you are protecting your wrists a little bit more because all the weight's not just in the wrist, right? The fingertips are helping the wrist out. So really feel that grip every time you're on the palms and the fingers. Tuck your toes. Take an inhale, and as you do, begin to flip the tailbone up, melt the belly, and then gaze forward into your cow pose. Now, while you're here, you want to pull the shoulders gently back away from the ears and reach the heart forward. You're going to feel a little stretch in the abdominals. And then on your next exhale, untuck your toes, round into your cat. And I want you to hold it here for this first cat. Relax the crown of the head, letting it hang down. Drop the belly up towards the spine. So just kind of saying hello to the abs here. And then press them out away from you with a little bit of energy through the fingertips and palms. So now there's some energy in those arms. Inhale, tuck the toes, flip the tailbone up, and gaze forward back into that cow. And then exhale and tuck the toes and round into your cat. And I'm just going to keep that going. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. These next few rounds of your cat-cows, close the eyes. And as you do that, start to notice, what do you discover here? As you're moving through your cat-cows, what can you discover here with the eyes closed? Maybe you can discover your breath a little bit further. Maybe you can start to become more aware of the present moment. As you close your eyes, you're just shutting off all outside distractions. Maybe it's something entirely different. But notice, what do you discover here? And then can you embrace it? A couple more rounds. Moving at the pace of your own breath. Last one, inhale, cow. And then exhale, cat. Inhale. Let's come back to a neutral spine. And then from there, roll the shoulders down the back. So really feel like you're lengthening through the back of the neck, even the upper back, as the shoulders just gently pull back. On your next inhale, I want you to pop up to your right fingertips and then the left. Okay? And then on your exhale, I want you to plant the right palm back down and then the left palm as well. So on your inhale, you're going to pop up to the right fingertips and then the left. On your exhale, plant the right palm, plant the left palm down, and keep gripping through the fingers. Keep that going. Inhale, pop up. Exhale, draw the palms down. Keep it going. Just getting some energy into the hands and also just noticing how the hands and the wrists are feeling. Focusing on a lot of support. Keep that going. And then as you come onto the palms, pause here for a moment. On your next inhale, pop up to your left fingertips and then the right. Okay? And then on your exhale, you're going to plant the left palm down and then the right. So you're going to go the other way. Inhale, pop up to the left, pop up to the right. Exhale, plant the left palm, plant the right palm. Keep that going. Inhale up. Exhale, plant the palms. A few more. After that last one, plant the palms down, grip down through the fingers. I want you to take your right foot, reach it back, tuck the toes, and just gently press through the right heel. Now, check what's going on in the wrist. If it just doesn't feel good to be on your palms today, you can actually come up to fists. You can stay up on your fingertips here. Do what feels good on those wrists today. And as you continue just to press back through that right heel, also check out what's going on in your left knee. Make sure the knee feels supported. And if not, you can actually double up on your mat to create more cushion, or a perfect place to grab a pillow or even a blanket and just place it underneath. Okay? Now take those back toes, start to press yourself front and back a few times so that we can start to stretch out more of the calf, and the back of the foot. Keep lengthening through that spine. Okay? And then on your next inhale, we're going to shift through center, pick the right heel up, but keep that right foot flexed, and then turn your toes down towards your mat so your hip squares off. If we don't turn the toes down, the toes usually just kind of go out to the side, the hip pops up, and then we don't have any alignment in the hips or supporting the back. So turn the toes down, foot is flexed, start to press a little bit of gentle energy through that right heel towards the back of the mat. As you grip through the fingers, reach the heart forward and engage the core. Take an inhale. On your exhale, I want you to bend your right knee. Open up the right knee to the right now. So now you want to open up the knee. And then as you exhale, take the right knee towards your right tricep. And it's okay if it doesn't touch. You're just going to try to draw it towards the tricep as far as you can. Now inhale, reach the heel back. And then exhale, knee to tricep. Keep that going. Engage the core. So that way you can stay a little bit more centered and just listen to the breath. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, knee to tricep. We're saying hello to the abdominals. We're keeping ourselves really sturdy by engaging the core, gripping down through the fingertips, and just trying to stay sturdy. After that last one, inhale, reach the foot back, toes are down. Take one more inhale. Exhale, curl the knee to the nose. Pop up to your fingertips, and then step the right foot up in between your hands into a nice low lunge. So same thing, right when you get here, make sure your back knee is comfortable, okay? Now you can pop up to your fingertips, or if you have a couple blocks, pop up to your blocks. You can even grab a couple pillows. Okay, whatever feels good just for a little bit of support here. Now, from here, we're going to do these we're going to do 3 rounds of rising and folding. So the first inhale here, the first rise is going to be this. On your inhale, you're going to pop up to the fingertips, lift your heart, and lift your head. Roll the shoulders back, okay? And then on your exhale, fold back over that leg. On your next inhale, walk the hands up to your upper thigh, that right thigh. Lift the heart, shoulders are still rolling back. And then exhale, fold it back down, drop the fingers. On your third inhale, you're either going to walk the hands up to that thigh again, or if your shoulders feel good, reach the hands up. And then exhale, relax the shoulders, relax your hips down, but keep that core strong. So to really help us support the back a bit more, we want to keep the core strong. If we don't, this is what happens. We let the hips sink, we let the belly go, and then we get this really weird arch in the back, and there's no support there. So as you hug the belly in, lengthen out of your lower back, you're actually going to take some compression away from the lower back as well as you grow tall. All right? So think belly in, grow tall, and then as you keep that tallness, then begin to sink and soften as it feels good. Again, if the shoulders feel great, I want you to bend your elbows this time and then grab a hold of your opposite elbows with opposite hands. So if I turn towards you, this is what it's going to look like. You're here, and then you're here. Now, reach up through the elbows, but drop the shoulders down away from the shoulders. As we reach up, the shoulders just love to pop up, but try to drop them down. Okay? Take one more inhale. On your exhale, I want you to release the hands out to the sides and then right back down. Take the hands to the inside of your right foot, and then on your next exhale, scoop your hips back. You gently swing the right knee back into a tabletop, okay? Regrip through the fingertips or come back up to your fists or fingers, whatever feels good. Take the left foot, reach it back, tuck the toes, press through the heel, and now on this side, same thing. You want to check the wrists, make sure they're comfortable and good. You want to check your bottom knee. Make sure you have cushion for it if you need to. And then start to lengthen through the spine, even the back of the neck. Start to engage the core. I want you to take your back toes and start to press yourself front and back a few times. Now we're getting into the left calf and the left foot. Keep breathing. And just notice, how does this side feel compared to the first side? Maybe this side is tighter. Maybe you're more flexible on this side. But just keep rocking yourself front and back a few more times. And then on your last inhale, come through center, pick the left foot up, flex it, and turn the toes down. Okay, so I'm going to hold it here just for a few breaths so you can feel like, okay, I can lengthen through my spine, I can lengthen through that back leg, and then connect to the core. That's going to change everything. Keep the gaze down so that the back of the neck is long. Okay, keep listening to the breath. And then on your next exhale, I want you to bend your left knee, open up the knee to the side so the hip opens, and then exhale, curl the left knee towards the tricep. Keep pressing that knot away, keep the core in, and then inhale, reach the foot back. Exhale, curl it into the tricep. Keep that going. Now, again, you want that core to be strong the entire time. That's going to help you to stay a little bit more through center so you don't lean too far over to the right. Couple more. And then after that last one, reach the heel back. Exhale, curl the knee to the nose, and then step the left foot up in between your hands, lunge. All right. So check the back knee, make sure it's comfortable. Pop up to your fingertips, blocks or pillows. Okay, just allow the hips to sink here for a moment, and just feel that you're actually pressing that left foot down into the mat. So you feel a lot of support for your hips here. All right. So we're going to do those 3 rounds of rising and falling here. Inhale, pop up to the fingertips. Lift your heart, lift your gaze. And then exhale, fold back over that leg. Pressing into your left foot. Inhale, walk the hands up to your upper thigh this time. Lift the heart, shoulders roll back. And then exhale, melt the fingertips right back down. Third one, inhale, walk the hands either to the upper thighs or sweep the hands up. Exhale, soften the shoulders, soften the hips, and then again, draw the belly in right away so you're protecting your back. If you're ever dealing with any shoulder issues, even if you've overworked your shoulders or you're dealing with an injury, you don't have to reach up. You can reach to the sides. You can take the hands to the hips or the upper thigh. You can really start to create whatever version of this pose that you need, all right, for the shoulders. If it does feel good, keep reaching up. On your exhale, I want you to bend your elbows again. Grab a hold of the elbows with your opposite hands. And then reach up through the elbows like they're your hands. So you want to keep lengthening and reaching even through the edges of the body. Keep softening through those hips. On your next inhale, we're going to take the hands up and out. On your exhale, come right back down. Now, gently walk the hands to the inside of your left foot. Okay, take an inhale, and then on your exhale, gently take the hips back, and we're going to slowly swing the left knee back into that tabletop. So come back down, palms, fists, or fingertips, whatever feels good. And then on your next inhale, I want you to scoop the right foot back and up into a tabletop split this time. So the foot doesn't have to go up super high, right? You just want to go up as far as it feels good for your hip and your back. And then from there, flex your foot again, turn the toes down, and then I want you to bring the heel in alignment with your glute. So your hips are square again, the heel's just as high as the glute. Take an inhale. On your exhale, keep the core strong. I want you to curl the right knee this time in towards the belly. And then inhale, circle it out to the right, and then back and up. So you're going to start to make these really nice big circles with the knee through the hip joint. Every inhale, you're circling the knee out to the side. Then every exhale, down, and you're going to curl it in. All right, really great way to find some mobility here in the hip flexor, in the hip joint. It's also going to work the glutes. It's going to work the abdominals, so make sure the core is strong. And then from there, reverse that circle opposite direction. So we're going to pick the knee up, and then as you exhale, we're going to circle it out to the side, in, and then back. And if it doesn't feel good to circle wide, make these smaller circles. You can always move in a way that feels better for your body. Couple more. And after that last one, I want you to take that right heel again, press it back, lengthen through the spine, toes are turned down. Now, as your hips are level here and you're engaging the core, you're actually giving so much more support and alignment to the spine here. Take one more inhale. Exhale, curl the knee to the nose. Step the right foot up in between your hands into that low lunge again. All right, cushion the back knee if you need to. We're going to do those 3 rises and falls. So inhale, pop up to the fingertips, lift your heart and head. Exhale, melt back over that leg. Nice and gently. Inhale, walk the hands up to your upper thigh, lift your heart. And then exhale, gently fold. Inhale, reach the hands up or keep the hands to the thighs. Do what you need to do for your shoulders. Spread all 10 fingertips wide, hug the core in, and just think about lengthening out of your lower back on your inhales. With each exhale, softening the shoulders and softening the hips. Now grab the elbows. Inhale, lift up through the elbows. Exhale, soften again. On your next inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, sweep the hands down. All right. So from here, I want you to tuck your back toes, pick the back knee up, okay? Make sure your right knee is stacked right over your right ankle. You're up on your fingertips now or your blocks, and then take the back toes and start to press yourself front and back a few times. So kind of like what we did in our tabletop earlier. So now we're in a little bit of a higher lunge. And then we're also going to be getting into the hips a little bit more, so it's super stretchy for the hips, and you're probably going to feel it more in the front of that left hip flexor. All right, shift yourself back through center. Keep grounding down to that right foot. Now, if you feel a lot of stability here, I'm going to have you rise on your next inhale all the way up to your high lunge, crescent pose. If you get there and you feel like I need way more support for my back and hips, drop the back knee down again. Okay, so that's going to give you more support. If you're here and you feel good, same idea as that low lunge. Hug the belly in, lengthen out of the lower back. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, ground the fingertips down to the inside of your right foot. All right, drop the back knee, untuck the back toes, take an inhale, exhale, shifting the hips back. We're going to swing the right knee back gently, slowly, and come back to all fours, tabletop. All right, right into the next side. Inhale, left foot goes back, reach it back and up first into a tabletop split. Reach the heart forward, and then exhale, we're going to take the foot down just a little bit, flex the foot, and make sure the heel's in alignment with your glute. Hug the core in. Take an inhale. Exhale. Now curl the knee in towards the belly. Open it up to the left, and then we're going to sweep it back and up and then down again. So now you're making those nice big circles through the left hip joint. I wasn't kidding about working on the hips today. Lots of hip work. But again, you want to move in a way that feels good. So if these wide circles don't feel good, make these circles a little bit smaller. That's totally fine. Always move in a way that feels good for your body. That's the beauty of yoga. We welcome that in yoga, right? If something doesn't feel good, you want to find an alternative to the pose. You want to find a modification or a variation, which is why I give you guys a lot of ideas of those things throughout our practice. Now for that last one, we're going to reverse that circle. So pick the knee up, open it up to the side, and then exhale, you're going to draw it in and back. Keep pressing the mat away from you so there's a lot of stability and support in the arms, in the shoulders. Keep circling that hip. Again, it's great because we're working on mobility for the hips, but we're getting into the glutes, we're getting into the abdominals. And after that last one, I want you to circle the knee back in, press the heel back, inhale. Exhale, curl the knee to the nose, step the left foot up in between your hands. All right, we're going to find that low lunge. Make sure you're comfortable first before we flow. And then when you're ready, on your next inhale, pop up to your fingertips, lift the heart, lift the gaze, and then exhale, fold back down. On your next inhale, take the palms up to the upper thigh, lift the heart, lift the gaze, and then exhale, fold right back down. Press into that left foot, inhale, sweep the hands up, exhale, soften the shoulders down. Okay, now from here, if you wanted to, you can tuck the back toes like we did earlier. Bring the hands down. Pick the knee up. All right, and then you're going to be in a high lunge. If that doesn't feel good, knee stays down. All right, so you're in your high lunge or low lunge. Core is in. You're lengthening out of your lower back. That way we're not compressing the back at all, but we're finding space for it, or within it, I should say. Now from here, exhale. Bend the elbows. Grab the elbows with opposite hands, but try to soften the shoulders down. Really great way to get warm real quick right here. It's a great pose. Take an inhale. Exhale. Release the hands all the way down to the inside of that foot. Actually, that went a little too far. Take the left hand to the outside of your foot first. Let the hips sink, and then press yourself front and back. Let's start here. So just allow the hips to feel stretchy. Again, you're moving in a way that feels good. So if this feels too intense, just lift your hips up a little bit. You can just drop the back knee down if you need to. Keep lengthening through the entire spine, even the back of the neck. Take the shoulders down the back gently. Shift through center. Drop the back knee and then untuck those toes. All right, now let's walk the hands to the inside of that foot. Take an inhale. On your exhale, shift your hips back slowly. Gently swing the knee back. And we're going to come on to all fours again. From here, re-grip the fingertips into the mat. I want you to tuck the toes, lift the hips, and we're going to find our way into a bent knee down dog, okay? So lift the hips up, press it back, but then keep the knees bent. Hug your triceps in gently, and then see if you can slide your shoulder blades down the back. Now, as you do this, you're gripping to the fingers, so there's not a lot of pressure in the wrists. And you want to think about pressing the torso back as if the belly is going to lie on the thighs, and it might. You can press back far enough, you can take the belly to the thighs. From there, see if you can straighten out your legs if it feels good. If not, bend the knees. Okay, and then pop up to your tippy toes, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees again, gaze forward. Start to slowly walk to the very top of your mat. So you're going to take a nice slow stroll to the very top. And then once you get there, you want to find a gentle forward fold. So bend the knees again. Sink your hips. You can take your fingertips to a pillow, a block, or even just the ground. And then on your next inhale, keep the knees bent, but lift your torso up halfway. So it's like a squatting monkey pose almost. What I want you to feel here, though, is that you can ground down evenly through both feet. And on your next inhale, see if you can lengthen from your tailbone through the crown of your head. So you want to think that like you're just reaching that heart forward. Now, keeping that space in your spine, take an inhale, and then exhale, fold over the legs. Let the belly melt in between the thighs. Relax the head down. If it feels good, straighten out the legs. If not, keep the knees bent. From here, we're going to grab a hold of opposite elbows again. Let the torso hang heavily. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, begin to gently sway side to side. And this is just if it feels good, right? So if this is too much for your back or your hamstrings, bend into the knees. You can even take your hands to your block and keep the knees bent, whatever you need to do for your body. But if you're able to get here, whether the legs are straight or bent, this is a great way to release tension from that lower back. And then bonus, you're getting into your hamstrings. Shift back through center. Exhale, drop the fingertips back down, bend into the knees. Now take an inhale here. On your exhale, slowly start to round all the way up to stand. If your back needs more support, walk the hands up the front of the legs, all the way to the hips. And then once you've risen, inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Gaze up as you touch, growing tall. Exhale, melt the thumbs to the heart. All right, I want you to pause here for a moment. You're at the top of your mat. You're in your mountain pose, feet are distance. And I want you to simply just keep those thumbs to your heartbeat, but close your eyes. And I want you to notice, where are you placing the weight within the body, within the feet? Are you favoring one side over the other? Are you leaning into one hip? And then once you notice what's going on in the body, can you begin to distribute the weight evenly through both legs and ground down evenly through both feet? See how it feels to maybe lift the arches of the feet up so the ankles and the arches aren't collapsing in. Just see how that feels. Lift the arches up gently. Now take a nice long inhale through the nose. And then exhale it out of the mouth, release. One more time. Inhale through the nose, grow tall. And then exhale out of the mouth, release. Let the eyes flutter open. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Gaze up as the palms touch. Now on your exhale, bend your knees again. Swan dive down into a gentle forward fold. All right. So option to grab your blocks or a pillow if you want a little bit more support here. You can also just take the fingertips to the mat. On your next inhale, I want you to come up halfway into that squatty monkey pose again. So you're up on your fingertips, you're reaching the heart forward. Your gaze is just directly down, so the back of the neck is long. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, roll the shoulders down the back. See if you can maybe lengthen through the upper back a bit more. And then on your next exhale, fold it down. On your next inhale, keep the knees bent. I want you to walk your hands up to your upper thighs and then lift just the torso. So you're like in this chair pose here. And then on your exhale, fold it back down, drop the fingertips. Good. Now on your next inhale, walk the hands back up to the thighs. Engage the core. Keep sinking the hips into a chair. And then see if it's possible to reach your hands up. Bend the elbows and grab the elbows. If that's not comfortable, just reach the hands up or keep the hands down. All right, take an inhale. And then exhale, release the hands out to the sides and all the way back down. This time, straighten out your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey, traditional monkey. So taking the palms to the shin bones, reach the heart forward. We're gonna get into the hamstrings here a bit. And then on your exhale, fold it back down. Bend the knees, plant your palms, and then step your feet back to find a plank. Now, if this bugs your wrist, you can come to the knees to modify. You can come to your forearms. But if you're okay here, stay here for a few deep breaths. Draw the belly into the spine. Feel some energy pressing back through the heels. But then reach some energy through the crown of the head, trying to keep the neck flat. If you're shaking, you're doing it correctly. Keep breathing though. Take an inhale, exhale, drop the knees. Whew, untuck the toes. From here, I want you to press the mat away from you again. And then on your next exhale, we're going to lower down through a modified chaturanga. So take an inhale, exhale, lower down slowly. 5, 4, elbows go back. 3, 2, and 1. Release all the way down to the mat, all the way down to your belly. Take one palm on top of the other, and then rest your forehead down. Relax. Take an inhale. Exhale, feel the body softening down into the mat. Take another inhale. And then exhale, start to notice what else can you let go of in the body? Where are you carrying or holding tension or tightness? With each exhale, allow yourself to let go. On your next inhale, turn the gaze forward. Slide the palms underneath your shoulders. And then I want you to hug the elbows in, roll your shoulders back. Now today, you might stay here. Depends on how your back feels. If your back feels pretty good, we're gonna first find our way into a baby cobra. So start by just pressing all 10 tops of the toes down into your mat first. Again, shoulders roll back. And then inhale, lift the heart up just slightly. You wanna press the palms into the mat so you have a little bit more support here. Shoulders rolling back, lengthen through the back of the neck, and then exhale, melt right back down. Now, if your back feels really good and you want a little bit more, keep rolling the shoulders back. Inhale this time. As you press into the palms, come up just a little bit higher into that more traditional cobra. Elbows still remain bent. You're lifting the heart up a little bit more and letting the heart smile open here. On your next exhale, fold it right back down. Now, on your next inhale, I want you to take your fingertips and take just the fingertips to the mat. So the palms are lifted, and it's kind of like you're cupping your hands. So take the fingertips out to the edges of your mat. So they're not super close, they're kind of out a little bit wider. You can still bend the elbows. Shoulders roll back, and then on your inhale, press the fingertips into the earth as you press yourself up into more of an exaggerated cobra. So you're only lifting up as high as it feels good. This is such a great way to stretch and strengthen the back, cobras. Exhale, fold it back down. All right, now take the palms back under the shoulders. If you know you're gonna stick to cobras today, stay here. If you want to come into your up dog, a little bit more of a back bend, I want you to actually take your palms back an inch or so, more towards your rib cage. Still feel the elbows hug in and the shoulders roll back. This time, on your inhale, lift the heart, lift the belly, lift the hips and the quads, and then see if you can lift your knees and allow them to float. Now, at the same time, you're broadening through the shoulders. And then on your next exhale, I want you to press yourself back into a wide-legged child's pose. We're going to open up the knees wide, sink the hips back towards the heels, big toes are touching, and you can keep the hands reaching forward, or if that's too much for the shoulders, stack one hand on top of the other and just rest the forehead down. Wherever you are, close your eyes. And I want you to focus here. What can you discover in this pose today? In your child's pose, maybe you're finding a place of peacefulness as you just close your eyes and listen to the breath. Maybe you're finding a sense of freedom in your lower back. This is actually a really great pose to help stretch that lower back. Or maybe you're finding and you're discovering this sensation of being just really grounded in presence today. Whatever you discover here, embrace it and take a few more deep breaths right here. Start to feel the shin bones and tops of your feet softening into the mat a bit more. Notice how that can take a little bit of pressure away from the knees. Take one more inhale. On your next exhale, I want you to round yourself up to all fours, finding your tabletop. All right, so knees and feet are hip distance. You're on your palms or maybe your fingertips if you want to give your wrists a little break. Inhale, scoop the right foot back and up into just a simple tabletop split. And then on your exhale, draw the knee to the nose. Step the right foot up in between your hands. You're going to find that low lunge, but then we're going to tuck the back toes and pick the back knee up. From here, I want you to take your back left heel, ground it down to the mat. You're going to hook it down, okay? And then keep the shoulders square to the front of the mat. And on your next inhale, I want you to walk your hands up to that right upper thigh. Now, just like that lunge, you want to hug the core in, lengthen up out of your lower back, but this time we're in a warrior one. We're going to sweep the hands up, and then exhale, we're pressing down through both feet. Okay, so shoulders square to the front of the mat. There's energy reaching up through those fingertips, helping you to grow tall. But there is a sensation of being grounded in the feet as you allow the hips to sink down. Take one more inhale. Press down into that right foot, straightening out the leg. And then on your exhale, open up your hips to the left. Open up your arms, and then as you exhale, you want to bend back into your right knee. So bend back into the right knee. Gaze over the right fingertips, warrior two. Now, to find a little bit more of a sensation of being grounded here, I want you to feel that you're pressing down through both feet, that you're engaging the core, and that you're actually reaching in opposite directions with energy through all 10 fingertips. So instead of reaching too far forward or too far back, as you ground down through the feet, you're rooting down. As you engage the core, this is what's keeping you centered. All right. On your next inhale, I want you to straighten out that front leg. Turn your toes forward and then allow the hands to come to the hips. Bend both knees. Start to heel toe your feet in just a few inches. You still want the feet to remain a little bit wider than the hips, just not as wide as before, okay? So feet a little bit wider than the hips. Take your toes, turn them out to just about a 45-degree angle so the hips can stay open, the inner arches can stay open. Now, as you stay here, keep that core strong. Inhale, can you grow a little bit taller? And as you exhale, bend the knees into a goddess pose, slide the hands down to the thighs. Okay, so it's kind of like a high squat. And then check the knees. Make sure that the knees are stacked over your ankles. Okay, gaze forward. Again, you want to keep the core in. All right, now from here, we're going to take the hands and we're going to just clasp. Okay. On your inhale, we're going to press into the feet, straighten the legs, and then we're going to take the hands, spread all 10 fingertips wide, and reach up. Now, as you inhale, you want to inhale through the nose here, okay? Grow tall. On your exhale, we're going to make those fists again, but we're going to exhale out of the mouth and come back to goddess, all right? So it's going to become this fiery flow. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale out of the mouth. Inhale through the nose, reach up. Exhale out of the mouth. Keep that going. Notice that when you grow tall, you're lengthening, you're finding space. And then on your exhales, you're grounding down. You're working that flexibility gently within your hips. Keep that flow going. Inhale, reach up. Exhale out of the mouth. Couple more. Last one. Hold it there. Now take the hands. You guys feel better? Take the hands to the upper thighs. So that breathing technique through that goddess flow right there, great way to relieve stress, but also a great way to create some energy, heat, and fire in the body when we might feel a little sluggish. All right, we're going to take that left shoulder, gently curl it inward, and then gaze over to the right. At the same time, I'm taking that left hand and I'm just pressing it into the inner thigh so that the hip and the knee stays open. Inhale back through center, exhale, switch. We're going to take that right shoulder inward, gaze over to the left, press that right hand into the inner thigh. Inhale, come back through center, straighten out the legs. Whew. All right, turn your toes forward. Take the hands back to the hips. And if your feet aren't wider now, widen the feet just slightly. Toes are still facing forward. Now inhale, grow tall. On your exhale, take the fingertips to the front of the hip flexors. Gently press them back. Reach the heart forward, and we're going to find our way all the way into a wide leg forward fold. Now this bugs your back or hamstrings, bend your knees. But eventually, I want you to ground the hands down either to your mat, to your block, or a pillow. Okay, and you can see if it feels good to keep the knees bent or straighten the legs here. But overall, I'm going to turn to the side so this makes more sense. Overall, you want to focus on hinging from the hip flexors. So when we were first coming into it, I said hands or fingertips to the front of the hip flexors. That is going to help you to kind of find that crease of the hips, and that is the crease that you want to fold from. All right, so that's going to take the forward fold out of the lower back and help you to lengthen and find a deeper stretch. All right, so we're going to hang out here for a second. Straight legs or bent knees. You can play around and take a block or a pillow and place it under the crown of the head. If you're a little bit higher up today and just kind of really tight, you can actually stack your pillows, you can stack your blocks, okay, and just kind of find the crown of the head there. See what happens if you grab a hold of the backs of the ankles and then gently bend the elbows. So you're not trying to pull yourself down, but as you just gently grab the ankles and bend the elbows, you might be able to go a little bit deeper into that forward fold. Go ahead and bend the knees. All right. Take the fingertips down into the mat. On your inhale, pop up to the fingertips, come up halfway into a wide leg monkey, but knees are bent. So nice flat back, even the back of the neck is flat. going to turn back towards you. So again, this makes sense. On your next exhale, walk your hands to that right leg. Okay, so to the right leg. Turn all 10 toes towards the right, to the front of your mat again. Sink your hips down. Now, I want you to take both hands to the inside of your right foot, all right? And then from there, plant the palms down, bend the back knee, and we're slowly going to slide the right foot back into a plank. Now, you can come right down to the knees if you need to. Take an inhale, exhale, lower chaturanga all the way to the belly. Untucking the toes. Take one palm on top of the other again, and just rest your forehead down. Relax. So notice today we're kind of like going through these flows, and then we rest. And then we go through another flow, and then we rest. So what I want you to ask yourself here in this pose is you're just lying on the belly, resting the forehead down, tuning in. What can you discover here? After that more of the heated flow we were just in, now we're here and we're resting. What can you find in this season, this moment, this yoga pose? The idea today is to find a little bit more presence in each pose. And that's why I'm asking you this question. What can you find here? What can you discover here? Take a couple more deep breaths right here. And then on your next inhale, gaze forward. Slide the palms under your shoulders if you want to stick to cobras. If you want a little bit higher, slide the palms back more towards the rib cage. Shoulders roll back. Inhale, find your cobra or up dog. And then on your next exhale, wide leg child's pose. You're just going to be here for a couple breaths. Sink the hips to the heels to stretch out that lower back. Melt the forehead down. Take one more inhale. Exhale, let it go. Now inhale, round up to all fours, tabletop. We're going to just move right into the next side. All right, grip down through the fingers. Engage the core. Inhale, sweep the left foot back and up into your tabletop split. And then exhale, curl the knee to the nose. So you're saying hello to the abs for a quick second. Step the left foot up in between the hands, lunge. Okay, pick the back knee up. You can be up in the fingertips here. You can always grab your blocks here if you need a little bit more. Then eventually, I want you to hook your right heel down. Okay, square the shoulders off to the front of the mat, and then walk the hands up to your upper thigh. So you're setting yourself up for a really supported warrior one. Now, keeping the shoulders square to the front of the mat, inhale, reach the hands up. This is optional, only if the shoulders feel good. Spread all 10 fingertips wide, and feel that on your exhale, you can hug the core a bit more, and then on your inhale, lengthen out of your lower back a bit more. Take a few deep breaths right here. Again, you want to focus on pressing down through the feet, staying nice and strong, nice and present. And then on your next inhale, press into that left straight leg. Exhale, open up the hips to the right, open up your arms. And then from there, find your warrior two. Exhale, bend into your left knee, gaze over the left fingertips. And then again, you're reaching in opposite directions. But at the same time, you're pressing into the feet and keeping the core in towards the spine so that you're not going too far forward or too far back. You're really, really centered here. On your next inhale, straighten out the front leg. Turn the left toes forward. Bring the hands to the hips. Bend into the knees. And then again, I want you to heel toe the feet back in. Just a few inches. I'm going to turn towards you again so it makes more sense. So feet are in just a little bit wider than the hips. Turn the toes out to that 45-degree angle. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend into the knees into that goddess pose again. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different. Instead of that more like fiery breath we focused on here, we're going to really use the arms a bit more. So I want you to take the hands out. Palms are up. Keep that core in. And then on your next exhale, hug the elbows in. And instead of just taking them there, I want you to squeeze them in. Now on your inhale, press into the feet, reach out to the sides, palms are forward. And then exhale, hug the elbows in. Keep that going. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, bring it in. Good. Keep that going. So what I want you to find here is that maybe over time you can go a little bit deeper, go a little bit lower towards the mat. And if that feels like it's forced, then don't do it, okay? You want to move into this gently with your breath, okay? So over time, as the body begins to soften and certain muscles begin to kind of loosen up and release, that's what's going to help you to gently and more intuitively get into certain poses. We never want to force ourselves there, right? We want to just move into it when our bodies are ready. Last one. Hug the elbows in. Shoulders roll down the back. Keep the core strong. Press into the feet. And then on your next inhale, straighten the legs again. Open up the arms. Turn the toes forward. Bring the hands back to the hips. So same idea. Fingertips are to the front of the hip flexors. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, reach the heart forward. You're going to feel that crease within the hips with the fingertips. I want you to fold from there. And then take the fingertips all the way back down to your mat again, to your blocks or to your pillows, whatever you have. Remember, comfort is key. So if you need to bend your knees, bend them. If it feels good to stay with the legs straight, stay there. So this time, I want you to clasp your hands behind your lower back, and you have the option just to stay here. Hands can rest there on that lower back, shoulders can relax. You can even grab a yoga strap if it's hard to clasp your hands. If this feels great on the shoulders, inhale, reach the hands up, and then exhale, slowly start to take the arms up and overhead. And really, you're not going to take them all the way up and overhead. You're literally just going to go as far as gravity allows you to take those arms. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, draw the hands back to the lower back. Take the fingertips down, okay? And then from there, inhale, come up halfway monkey, bending the knees. On your exhale, I want you to walk your hands over to your left leg. Turn the toes towards the left, towards the top of the mat again. Okay, so now you're in this nice lunge. Take the hands to the inside of that left foot, and then press the palms down. I want you to put a little bend in that back knee. Step the front foot back, plank. Exhale, lower down to your belly, right into chaturanga. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, back bend of your choice, up dog or cobra. Exhale, wide child's pose. So this time, in your child's pose, I want you to take your arms and drape them around the body, relaxing the shoulders down. You can take the forehead to a pillow, a block, or even your mat. And I want you to give yourself a few rounds of breath right here. Okay? Take a few deep breaths. Take one more inhale. And then on your exhale, I want you to take the fingertips down by your knees. Press the fingertips into the mat. Come up to a little seat. And I'm going to actually have you guys come all the way to your sit bones and cross the ankles. So this next posture is going to really depend on how your hips and your knees are feeling, all right? Even how your back's feeling today. So I'm going to give you this option, and then I'm going to tell you how to modify it, okay? So today, since we're talking about hip mobility, we're going to go into our double pigeon pose. So to begin, take the feet out in front of you, all right? I want you to move into this with ease. And if something doesn't feel good, you feel pain at all, back off, all right? There's lots of alternatives. So start off, we're going to take that right heel. We're going to flex the foot and take the heel a few inches above the left sit bone. You want it to be in alignment with the sit bone, okay? And I'm going to rest the knee down. Now I'm going to take the left heel. I'm going to flex the foot, take the heel and the ankle, and try to draw it towards the knee or really over the knee if you can. Now, a lot of times the knee is up here, but if you can, eventually you want to try to stack the shins and allow the knee down, okay? Now, if you're really tight and the knee is up, that's okay, because that's very normal. You can actually take your left hand, grab under the thigh to support yourself. You can even grab your block and just place it underneath, okay? So this is the first option. You can wiggle around. You can even take the fingertips into your mat, lift your hips up, and then place them back down, and really focus on squaring the hips off to the front of the mat, okay? Second option, you're just going to simply cross either the shin bones, if that's comfortable, or the ankles, all right? So either way, we're going to eventually get into the edges of the hips. So whether you're here, you're crossing more of the shins, or you're stacking the left ankle over the right knee, you want to make sure you're comfortable, okay? Now I want you to take your hands, make little fists, and then very, very gently, you're going to start to tap on the edges of your hips wherever you feel tight, okay? Now, this shouldn't be too noisy, unless you have hips of steel and you just can't feel it at all. These should be very gentle taps. And the idea is just kind of tapping the muscles that are tight so that you can eventually kind of release into the pose a little bit deeper without force. All right, now from there, we're gonna take the fingertips back down. You might stay here. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, soften into the body. Or if you wanna go a little bit more, inhale, walk the hands out in front of you to a block or just to the mat. And then exhale, lean forward. And you're gonna find a very gentle forward fold. And I want you to imagine, so you can keep a flat back, imagine like you're gonna draw the heart over those shins. Doesn't matter if you're lifted or more folded. Imagine like you're reaching the heart forward and over so that that back can remain more flat and not so rounded, okay? Shoulders, roll them down the back. Close the eyes, and no matter what version of this pose you're in, no matter if you're more lifted or you're folded deeper into it, remember, comfort is key, okay? So go for comfort. Now close the eyes, and on your inhale, lengthen through the spine. On your exhale, soften through the edges of your hips where you might feel some tightness. Take a couple more deep breaths right here. Inhale, lengthen, find space. And then exhale as you soften into the hips. See if your body will allow you to go a little bit deeper into that forward fold without forcing it. Take one more inhale here. And then on your exhale, I want you to walk your fingertips back in towards your shin bones. Remember which foot or which ankle is crossed over which. And then take the feet out in front of you and just very gently shake out the legs. All right. Wiggle the hips side to side. Like I said, I was not kidding about working on the hips today. We're getting into the inner and outer hips. Now from here, I want you to bend your knees again. All right. If you need to, lift your sit bones up, plant them back down. And then we're going to switch. So I want you to take your left heel. I want you to flex the foot first, but take the heel in front of the right sit bone. And then take that right heel and try to place it over, or just onto, pretty much over if you can though, over that knee. Now sometimes when we set ourselves up, we kind of twist a bit. So I want you to take the fingertips into the mat, lift your hips up, and then if you can, square the hips off, plant the sit bones down. And if this is not the version today for your body, just does not feel good, that's okay. We can still get into the outer edges of the hips by, again, crossing at the shins or crossing the ankles. All right, you're just gonna be on the opposite side. All right, I want you to take those hands, make little fists, like little mallets again, and then gently tap on the edges of your thighs, your hips, maybe that lower back gently, maybe kind of high up on the glutes, just wherever you might feel some tightness, so we can release within those tight muscles and maybe do a little bit deeper into the pose, or maybe just create more comfort today. All right, take the hands back to the thighs, fingertips coming down into the mat. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, soften the shoulders down, soften the hips. And then inhale, walk the fingertips forward, no matter what version of this pose you're in. And then on your exhale, if it's possible, then start to reach forward. Okay, inhale, lengthen, close your eyes, and then exhale, soften into the body, soften deeply within those hips. And then the more and more you begin to soften and begin to let go within the muscles that are tight, this is when you're going to find more comfort, and you might be able to find your way a little bit deeper into the pose possibly. Now this can take time. Doesn't mean like each exhale we're going to go deeper and deeper into the pose, but this can take some time. You might be more lifted today, and then eventually towards the end of this, we're going to be maybe a little bit deeper into it. It's really up to how the body's feeling today. Okay, take one more inhale, and then exhale, let it go. Walk the hands back in. Take the feet out in front of you. Shake it out. So that was your double pigeon. Obviously gets into the edges of your hips. Give the hips a little sway side to side. And then I want you to bend your knees again. Scoot yourself to the very top of your mat. Grab underneath the thighs for more support. Engage the core, and then slowly round yourself all the way back. And as you come onto your back, hug the knees in towards the chest and just give them a little squeeze in. Feel the lower back lengthening, but then grounding into the mat as well. Feel the shoulders soften down. And then as you close your eyes here, I want you to slide your palms to the tops of your knees. Keep the knees touching and begin to circle the knees in one direction. So we're going to kind of massage out the back. Loosen up again through the hips. Go ahead and reverse that circle, opposite direction. And as you circle the knees back through center, take one more inhale, squeeze the knees in one more time towards the heart, and then exhale, take the feet down, open up your arms. And if you need more hip and back support today, stay here with the knees bent. If your hips and backs feel great, go ahead and straighten out one leg and then the other, and we're going to come right into Shavasana. This is why we practice, right? For this pose right here. So wherever you are, remember, again, comfort is key. So if you need more neck support, clasp your hands, place them behind your head. You can even use your yoga block on its lowest setting for a pillow. And as you take the arms out to the sides, if you're not using them for a pillow, make sure the palms are facing up here, and you can just relax the tops of the hands down. And we're going to be here today for about a minute or two. And we're going to explore that same sensation of letting go, but also what can we discover the more we let go. So as you're there on your back, take a nice long inhale through the nose. And then on your exhale, exhale it out of the mouth. On your next inhale, nice long inhale through the nose. Feel the belly and chest rise. And then exhale it out of your mouth, release. One more time, inhaling through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, let it go. Can you keep taking those long inhales, long exhales, but this time through the nose? As you begin to inhale and exhale through the nose, I want you to start to find your Ujjayi breath. If you're not sure what that is, every inhale, you're just sipping in brand new air through the nostrils. But then as you exhale out of the nose, you want to feel the breath lightly on the back of the throat. So it's going to be that same sensation as if you were to walk up to a window and exhale out of the nose to fog that window up. That's how you're going to exhale. That's the sensation, okay? But it's very gentle. So your Ujjayi breath, we sometimes call this your ocean breath, because also it does sound like the waves of the ocean. With every inhale, the waves are pulling out into the sea. With every exhale, the waves are gently crashing onto the shore. As you continue to listen to those waves, notice that with each exhale, can you soften into the body a bit further? Can you soften the mind, letting go of any busyness there? And then with each round of breath, start to notice, can you start to let go more and more? Can you discover, as you begin to let go, you start to create a little bit more space within. And within that newly founded space, we can start to invite in a little bit more love, light, groundedness. And we can just rest here within that light, within that love, within that feeling of being grounded. Take these last few moments right here, grounding down, finding peace. Can we embrace the rhythm of each new season and find peace in the way that it moves us? With that thought, go ahead and on your back there, take the left palm to the heart, take the right palm to the belly, and take a few more deep breaths right there. This time, feeling the belly and chest rise and fall with each breath that you take. As you tune into your heart center and your core center, We give ourselves this little reminder that just like the seasons in our lives, our yoga practice also has seasons. Seasons where we crave a little bit more movement in our practice. And then seasons where we crave a little bit more stillness in the practice, holding poses a little bit longer. No matter what's going on in the body or the mind or what season we're in our lives, our practice is always there for us. All we have to do is show up to the mat. With that thought that our practice is always there for us, no matter what, can you bring a slight smile to the face? Invite in a little bit more love and lightness into the heart center and into the core center so that you can take all of this with you today. And then on your next inhale, can you take your arms, reach them up and overhead, taking a nice big wake up stretch. Reach through the fingertips, point through the toes, take an inhale, and then exhale there on your back. Hug your knees into your heart, wrap the arms around your legs, giving yourself a big cozy hug, and begin to rock yourself side to side gently on your back. Take one more inhale. Exhale, rock yourself over to your very favorite side. And then I want you to press your palms into the mat and find your way slowly back up to your sit bones. Bring the palms to touch, take the thumbs to the heart, and then go ahead and close the eyes just one more time. Grounding down evenly through both sit bones. On your next inhale, see if you can grow all the way from those sit bones, from those roots, up through the crown of the head towards the sky. And then on your exhale, can you keep this spaciousness that you just created, but begin to soften into the body from your head all the way down to the toes. And again, inhale, grow tall. And exhale, soften. On your next inhale, let the eyelids gently flutter open as you begin to sweep your arms up and overhead. Lift your heart, lift your gaze as the palms touch. And as they touch, pause here for a moment. As you ground down through the sit bones, inhale, see if you can grow a little bit taller here. And then on that exhale, slowly melt the thumbs back to your heart space, grounding yourself down with an open heart and an open mind. Namaste. Thank you everyone so much for joining today. I hope your hips feel great. I hope you guys had a really great Shavasana. I kind of probably got you a little bit warmer today so that we could just enjoy Shavasana a little bit more. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out like always. I'm excited to keep creating brand new classes for you guys. So each time you tune in, there's something a little bit new and fresh about the practice. And we also actually are offering classes through FireFlex Yoga every Tuesday and Fridays right now at AM. They're $10 per class, but if you want to kind of integrate a little bit more sessions into your week, definitely tune in. Again, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Shannon at FireFlex, and you can even go to fireflex.com and find where to sign up on there on the schedule. It'll show you Fridays and Tuesdays. I teach every Tuesday and Shannon teaches every Friday. So I will see you all for our next session and hopefully see you for a Tuesday or Friday class. Thank you guys. Have a great day and stay safe out there.